and welcome to Busting NeoFraus Podcast. It is the only podcast for female fraud professionals and their allies who want to stay on top of the fraud awareness spectrum in order to thrive professionally while maximizing their happiness and having the courage to create the life they love. Thank you for listening.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of the NeoFraus Podcast. Today, for the episode, we have a special guest. This is Gabriela Chang, and it's my absolute pleasure to have her as our guest today. She will be sharing very important insights regarding scams that exist out there, and we also are recording this episode in support of the Fraud Awareness Week, which is this week. But without any further ado, I'd like to give Gabriela the floor to briefly introduce herself to the audience. Hi, Gabriela.
Hi, Olga. It's so nice to be here today and talk to you about this important topic that is still very frustrating for me in a sense, and I hope that I can help bring some light, especially to the women out there who are being scammed for things like this.
Yeah.
So a dating and relationship coach, and I've been studying this for a few years now. I started because I was going through my own breakups, and through my own healing, I discovered the many skills that we are lacking as a society when it comes to relationships. You know, we usually go and study for business school or to acquire a degree, and we learn all these new skills, right? We almost perfect the knowledge that we need to gain to work at a certain industry, you know, and like any business, you need to have skills when it comes to relationships because it is a partnership. And so I believe that is vital for men and women, but in this case, we're going to address it more for women because I believe it affects mostly women. This episode is very important for women to understand what it means, so there is no confusion out there, and what can they do to truly improve their skills and to improve how to attract a partner who is going to help them build the future that they want and have the relationship that they truly desire.
Well, thank you so much, Gabriela, for this wonderful introduction for our audience today. And definitely the topic is absolutely important for anyone out there. So without any more delays, I'd like to dive into the main information that is important to share. Interestingly, Netflix released a very kind of interesting series on some sort of cult or scam type of organizations. I think it was called Twin Flames, and that's absolutely incredible.
Is it Escaping Twin Flames? And I was very interested when I saw that because, you know, I remember a long time ago, I was also sold on the idea of a twin flame, you know, and I was told that my twin flame was somebody who was already in a relationship. And so it was very frustrating for me in a sense, and it was very confusing for me to believe that my twin flame, and first of all, I had to understand the concept, right? So the way they explained it to me was that they are two souls divided into two. There's one soul, I'm sorry. There's one soul that is divided into two by the flame of fire, the sacred flame of fire. So that's why they're called twin flames. So basically, they're saying that a soul is incomplete because it has been divided. And there is more story to that, and this is like the higher level of a soulmate. So if you're with your soulmate, you're not yet with your twin flame, you know. And so this whole idea of what is a soulmate, what is a twin flame, I believe is just a way for people to really try to understand the whole love partnership situation that we have, people to justify the reason why relationships are so difficult. So in my view, you know, if I had pursued the way these people from the twin flame universe tell you to, if I had followed their advice and pursue my person who was already in a relationship, I will have come in between a family. I will have come in between a woman, you know, a relationship with her man. I will have basically destroyed a family because the belief that my twin flame is with somebody else could have been very difficult for me to deal with, you know, because unfortunately, many times people are running from desperation. You know, people believe in this whole idea of twin flames because they're desperate to be in a relationship with someone, to believe that there is the one, to believe that there is no one else they can be with than that person, you know. And the way I see that is a very scared mindset, full of fear, and a way just to justify why they're alone, why they have not met the right person before. So if I had believed that my person was my twin flame and who was already in a relationship with another woman and have babies with, you know, it would have been a very toxic environment for me to get involved with, and something I honestly could not do. For me to come in between another woman and take her man from her and destroy their family, that is something that I always 100% advise against. A woman should never look for another woman's man. We are sisters, right? We have to unite together. Anytime a man is already in a relationship, leave him alone. Do not give him your attention at all. Once their relationship falls through and is destroyed, that's on them, right? That's a different story. Then maybe something in the future can develop between the two of you. But to think that my soulmate, my twin flame, is only one person in the world, and without that person I cannot exist, is a very toxic mindset, and is very, very dangerous.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all this overview. I do agree with you absolutely. And in my mind, I think this whole scheme is like a brainwashing, right? Brainwashing people.
Yeah, and just because they want to make money, you
Yeah.
know, people are taking on that twin flame idea in targeting women who are feeling very, very desperate, and women who are feeling very low, and they need to heal a lot of different things, and they're actually isolating them from their friends and their family who do not believe in the same thing.
Absolutely horrible. And Gabriela, this brings me to my next question for you. What kind of advice could you provide to the audience out there, perhaps women specifically, but not necessarily, on how to be careful not to fall victim of such, cult or scams?
Yeah, I don't think that there is anything wrong with believing in soulmates and twin flames. I think that people need to proceed with care, right? First of all, they need to bring into perspective their values, their integrity, you know? By that, I mean, who am I going to date? Will I date somebody who's in jail? Will I date somebody who is in a relationship? Will I date and move in with somebody who I have just met? You know, will I be in a relationship with somebody who I don't want to sleep with? Somebody who is not taking care of me and protecting me as a woman? Will I be with somebody who is not giving me their attention but forcing me to love them, right? And then once you have those values established for yourself, then you go and look for somebody to help you, right? Because not everybody is out there to scam you. Not everybody's out there to just take your money and hurt you. Unfortunately, these people from the Netflix series are using a lot of the terminology that I use, right? The difference between them and I is that I ask you always, you as my client, my priority is to learn what your needs are and what do you want. If your needs and wants are not in alignment with that other person, maybe with your ex or the so-called twin flame, right? Then maybe we need to start looking into what we need to heal and not force that relationship. Anytime somebody's telling you this is your person and there is force instead of attraction, then you're going against their free will and you may be stalking people actually.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing those insights. It's definitely important for us to spread this awareness, for the audience and anyone listening out there, in order for them to be extra careful. But I'm also interested to highlight the financial part of the scam. What are the scenarios how people are becoming victims of this type of cult or scams, and also suffering financial loss, not only emotional damage, but also financial loss? Could you share a few scenarios or examples on the financial part?
Yeah, definitely. Before you invest in something, you have to do research. You have to look who is going to be teaching you and what skills and what are their teachings coming from. If it's somebody who's just a psychic, who's just a medium, who's just doing the tarot readings and all these things, well, that's good to a degree, but these are all tools. You have to be invest in someone who has certifications, who has been doing this and has proven results, right? Not just somebody who is blasting all over trying to sell you and sell you and sell you and is not concerned about your well-being. So if you don't feel safe, if something is feeling wrong, maybe your intuition is telling you something is wrong, right? So if they don't have the certifications, if they don't have the credentials, if they don't have the interest in your well-being, and they don't care about how much money you're spending, right? Not that they're going to protect your pocket, but if they don't seem interested in your safety, then maybe that's a red flag that you need to look for and study, right? And you have to study it because many times even the people involved in those circles are very toxic and they may not tell you the whole truth. Maybe they're also brainwashed. So you have to be careful on how to proceed next. And if you want to, you're in doubt and you maybe want to buy their products, then buy something that is inexpensive. Anything that is under $50. Try their services. See how it feels and connect to your body and your intuition and ask if this is something that I need to do, then I'll take my time to go through it. Just don't do, what we do many times when we are desperate, we are very, what is the right word that I'm looking for? When we are in desperation energy, we act very quickly. We don't think. Right? We are just, what is the word, Olga? Maybe you can help me.
Perhaps vulnerable, but also hopeful, to be rescued out of the hardship, right?
Yes, and when we are in that vulnerability, desperation, we can be impulsive. That's the word I was looking for, Avoid being impulsive. Avoid putting $1,000, $2,000 in your credit card. Unless you have money to throw away and burn, don't do it. So be very careful. Take time with your pillow, go into prayer, and ask if this is the right thing for you, and ask your higher self. Communicate with your intuition, because many times, like in this Netflix series, a lot of the women there were feeling that something was off, but yet they continue to listen to this guru, to listen to this authority, and they continue to do these things. One of the women went to jail for stalking one of her twin flame, and that's another thing, if somebody's telling you to do something that you feel it goes against, maybe you should stop, because we also have to remember that if the other person is saying, no, I'm not interested, I don't believe in this, and I don't think we are meant to be together, you have to respect their decision, because otherwise you are crossing their own boundaries and violating their boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just be very careful with the advice that you are following as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you so much, Gabriela, for your insights and explaining all those important, angles of the entire type of scheme. I hope the audience will learn a lot from our episode today and from you. I will also make sure to publish, together with the episode, any links for people to be able to contact you if they have any questions, or need to be in touch with you regarding any wonderful coaching that you provide. Well, once again, thank you so much for being our guest today. I personally learned a lot from everything you described, and especially the tips that you provide to be extra cautious and extra careful, and what kind of signals to look for whenever being in a communication with certain groups, such as the example from the Netflix series.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
I know I'm laughing because it all as a story sounds funny, but I'm sure it's terrible to be part of it, and it's terrible for all the victims who fall for this scam.
Yeah, and the victims unfortunately end up very traumatized from things like this,
Yeah.
So we have to be careful who we give our power to as well.
Wow, I love the way how you said we need to be careful who we give our power to. I love the way how you put it, and I think it's a wonderful ending and conclusion for the episode.
You know you're giving your power away when something feels off, and when you feel sad, angry, depressed, when you are not feeling in harmony or peace and happy, you're giving your power away. That's a very simple way of knowing.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you. Amazing as always, Gabriela Chang. And thank you for this advice and the insights that you shared today. And thank you everyone for listening. Stay healthy and happy.